universal motorcycle cruise control, purchased in 2019 from Amazon for around $30. I got this for my 2012 Honda NC700X. First, a few stills. There's no need to overthink this, pretty much just what you see in the picture. The main consideration is you're going to have 7/8 of an inch handlebars, or 22 millimeter in metric, which is the most common size. The next thing to know is that you're going to have to loosen and move the master cylinder to the left about 3/8 of an inch. This means your front brake lever is going to be in a little different position. It's going to be a little harder to reach, and you might want to think about getting an adjustable lever so that you can set the depth of it back to where it was. To solve that problem, you could always put an adjustable lever on there. In this picture, this is a modified mount. I used a little bit of pipe strap and rigged it up. And that was so I didn't have to move the master cylinder. But I decided it wasn't really worth it, and just going with the kit as is was the best way to go. This is a quick rundown on installing the throttle lock and some of the principles behind it and how it works. Now this is the part you're going to trim a little bit. I just put a piece of hose in here for now, and then I may use the actual plastic part. I added this little washer. I've had a throttle rocker on here, but I found with this and the throttle rocker, things got a little busy on the hand grip. It's important not to over tighten this because this is plastic. You can see the arm has pretty good hold. There's a little flex here at the end. I probably will put the solid plastic piece in. I ended up using the short screw here. The long one is if you have to use the full spacer. And installing it's very easy. They talk about Vaseline or silicone-based grease in here. It comes pre-greased, but in time with the friction here, you're going to want to take this and slip it off and add some grease. These little set screws, and they give you the Allen key, this is what makes this ring here grip onto this rubber spacer. You use the thicker spacer if you have a thinner hand grip. This is a 7/8 handlebar or 22 millimeter, which is pretty common. I can't see really using the thicker one because I don't know how much smaller it could be, but you never know. Now you don't have to take anything off. This thing is just going to slide right over like that. You don't even have to take the bar end off. Over here you have to move the master cylinder. You're only moving it this distance. I shaved it slightly. I don't think it matters much. But the farther you move this over, the more your brake lever moves over. So right now, it's probably about 3/8 of an inch, a little over a quarter. So what it means is this is a little further out. What you could do is get a custom lever, which I probably will, which is adjustable and lets you spin the wheel and allow this to come closer to the handlebar. This can be turned with your fingers when the throttle lock is off, so you could just go like this. See that? When it's not strong enough, it's not going to hold. Right? So you unlock it, turn this a little bit, tighten it, now it holds. And if that wasn't enough, you could just give it a little more turn, lock it down. How tight should it be? Tight enough to hold it, but not too much tighter than that, because you just create unnecessary wear and drag in here. Every so often, maybe once a year, depends how much you use it, I am probably going to leave it on all the time because I like that. I had a little piece that I put here. This is a piece of white 3/4 inch PVC coupling. What you could do just as a test, it works on most motorcycles or scooters. You put this in here, you take this off, put that in there, tighten this up, creates drag on here, and it just lets you see, do I like a throttle lock? And you can't turn it off, obviously, you'll have to loosen this, but you could test it out. Just to point out here that this doesn't interfere with the switch or the starter button down here. Nice thing about a lock is if you want to adjust it and you're just in steady traffic, you can just turn it a little bit like that and adjust the motor. There's just nothing like having a throttle lock. You have more consistent driving. You're getting off the highway. You can just adjust your speed like that a little bit. You can take your hand off and just let it lie down like that, get some circulation. There's just a lot of great things about having a throttle lock. Complaints. If I had a few complaints, it would just be this could look a little nicer, this nut could be a little nicer, this could be made of aluminum instead of plastic. It's not a big deal. This definitely could be a lot thinner. This whole thing could be redesigned so that it's maybe half the thickness, which would be nice. Not a big deal, though. This is kind of, a little unsightly. The chrome will have a tendency to rust unless you keep some sort of grease or lubricant on it. But otherwise, it's a good system. It does the job. It feels a little dated, kind of like it's from the 70s and never really changed. But still a good system.